So on this video here, we're going to be discussing how I trade the funded accounts. I've got many trades on, several trades on the LEELOO funded account here. So here the market starts. So I'll try to decrease the volume on my TICKSTRIKE here. I'm kind of biased here, probably to the short side. Let's see, ES is leading the way lower. Not really building a lot of volume here, so let's see if that's just gonna basically move markets right back into range here at the open here. I'm just gonna figure out my accounts, configure them properly. Yeah, I'm kind of leaning for the short here. Let's see if I can get at least a small little scalp on the Apex Trader funding account. So that was a quick scalp. I'm going to be trading mostly the LEELOO account on this day. As you all know, LEELOO recently made some new changes to their accounts. They're basically going to have new weekly payouts for their performance account. So please do watch the link below in the descriptions. That will lead you to the discount. I'm just setting up my dome here, just putting my levels to make sure. I think ES is going to most likely make a new low here. It's not really creating a lot of volume here at the low, so let's see if I could maybe look for, I've got my levels at the bottoms here written down. And that was a very swift move down, so I'm just going to let this play out. Close to the lows here. I think just going to try to see if I can get some kind of reversal maybe on this. Watching the 46s here, we most likely could get pretty much a reversal there. Let's see if NQ could hold above the 87s. I think here we are. NQ is kind of moving higher. Again, like I said, LEELOO has the new changes here. Just going to update the links below. Don't hesitate to contact me for that. I think having a funded account with several prop firms is something that I've kind of not made it very clear. I think it's just ideal to have one with every firm. I've kind of traded and tested pretty much all of them. LEELOO is one of the most, when it comes to service, when it comes to the way they answer back and everything, I think they've got a pretty good job in finding a niche for traders who need this kind of prop firms. As ES is making a new low here, I'm kind of interested to see. This was January 5th, so I'm looking for several trades just on my funded accounts, and we're most likely going to go through some of the trades. I will be sharing the screen here. I'll just add in the print screen of the shares that I had of the trades I took on this day. So mainly LEELOO trades here. I've got a funded account with pretty much a couple of firms, so if ever you guys have any questions on that. The reason why I started with these funded accounts was I was basically, let's just look at the market here. It's making new lows, how the volume builds here. I like to generally look for a nice little high volume node when the market is making a new low, and that's kind of my pivot to see what market does. And then I'm looking at the correlations between NASDAQ and ES. Here NASDAQ is really showing some weakness, so I would not even look at going long here, even if it was a good level that you would see like on a higher time frame. I think here below 37s this market gets pretty weak. So it's a brand new year, 2023. Wishing you guys all the best for 2023. It's been a while. I haven't been doing some videos. It's just that I've mainly been focusing on some coaching traders that I've been helping out. So we've been reviewing certain things with several traders, and also I basically took some time off in November too. Just gonna do a print screen here. Give me 2 seconds. As we get some sweeps here on ES, this is what we want to see if you want to see some kind of a reversal off the lows here, as Nasdaq really showed that it wanted to move higher here. It's kind of leading the market. I think Nasdaq's slightly a bit more aggressive, or it's a bit more strong. It's stronger than ES, no doubt. And yeah, again, ES is really having a hard time here below the 41s. That's not the ideal thing to do here, but I would not look for longs. I think I'm just gonna reset all my domes. I kind of tend to reset my volume profile on Nasdaq a lot. I think you've probably noticed that. I find that the volume profile for the whole day on Nasdaq doesn't really give you any kind of help when it comes to scalping. It's mainly looking for value, as if the market is building higher, is actually trading below a high volume node on Nasdaq that just got created recently. As you can see here, we have one here around the, what is it, 668s. So I'm kind of leaning short bias here with the Nasdaq. That's really strong, as I think the 843s and 863s kind of, that's the box that I would look at here on Nasdaq to see if it kind of gives us a hint of if it's going to reverse here. But ES below 41s here, it's going to be really hard to really be long here. It's really like going back into the range here around the lows, and with all these stackings that are occurring here on the depth, I don't really like the fact that this might not really be a low here on ES. So coming back to LEELOO, as you all know, it's got a brand new funded account feature where you could have payouts, and these payouts are pretty interesting when it comes to having that account, because most firms have either 2 payouts a month, or actually once a month. But now with this new feature, you're able to get weekly payouts. So if you have any, good trading skills and you are able to get consistent payouts with LEELOO, that could be an option. To a trade here, let's see how that goes. We're pretty close to the lows again. Having a hard time above the 38 to 41 level for me on ES is really critical. Not really looking for any kind of dip buying here. Oh my god, look at the stacking here on the at the lows. I don't know who the hell really buys these kind of lows, even if there's huge stacking like that. Don't even kind of trust that. Here we're going to squeeze pretty much lower here. I think that was a good entry, no doubt. This was a trade that I, for some reason, did not take a print screen on the P&L, so it was probably on one of the other prop firms that I trade. So I'm just gonna mainly show you guys the Leeloot trades here, but this one was pretty close. So pretty neat, pretty easy trade here at the lows. Basically, the market's creating some volume here, which kind of indicates that this is going to most likely have to be revisited. So even if you get some kind of a short squeeze, these tend to get revisited in the future. So these are kind of little dome tricks. So as soon as the market makes a new low, just watch how volume builds. Let's see if ES could get some kind of yeah, we got new lows here. So 30.26s, 38.26s. 38.31 would be a spot that I want to see. We got some sweeps that came into the tape. I think that was perhaps the last, you know, the last the late shortcomers that came in there and basically covered quickly because I think they're a bit late to the party here. Yeah, I think sellers are mainly in control of this auction here. Very close to the lows. Looking at NASDAQ here, 836s. So again, that was a low. That was the most recent low there on NASDAQ. 846 and above in NASDAQ. If it's gonna start squeezing a bit, that could definitely lead a small little short squeeze on ES as well. So that's something I always pay attention to. Not a lot of volume at the 26s here on ES, but 28.75 might be a spot that I'd look to see if there's any volume that builds, but probably no volume at all. So that was a quick sweep just above the 31s. I kind of fast forwarded the video just to show you guys the sweeping that's occurring here. We're going to most likely get some sort of a short squeeze here. Yeah, I'm looking for a long, but I'm hesitant. You know, as you can see, I'm looking at NASDAQ just to see where I would be playing around. And again, continuing lower, so it's a tough market to really try to look for longs. This was particularly a day where the market just ran lower. I think I showed you guys the chart of the day. This is what the chart looked like until like 10:30. So I'm going to quickly show you guys a screenshot of that. So that would at least give some kind of perspective of what the day looked like. It was pretty much a easy directional day where markets, both of them, ES and NASDAQ, kind of correlated pretty well. So I'll quickly show you guys the chart of the day here as market is now range bound. Around could get something here. Yeah, now I think that above the 2850s here, ES is most likely going to get some kind of a long bias. So I'm looking for a trade to see if I can get something here. I'm going to go long a bit aggressively here around the 3275s. I generally look for a 4 to 8 tick scalp pretty quick, but here I think, yeah, got my entry quickly there. I'm going to put my stop. But yeah, it's just not moving, so it's not going to give me any kind of a move here. It's just really back and forth, but ideally, really, like, to be honest, above 28 to 31s, you just have to be looking for longs, as you're seeing here, the long sweeping that's coming in the tape here. Yeah, I was a bit too hesitant on that last trade. It's fine. So this is the chart of the day. Like I said, mainly just off the opening range, the markets just continued lower. So that was the chart, just showing you guys quickly the P&L as well. If you're looking at the funded accounts that I had traded here, I'm going to quickly show you guys that as well. So just after the charts here, you're going to be able to see the couple of trades on the funded accounts. So I'm just putting the print screen so that, but the chart, the trades will be a bit later here on the video. All right, so let's get that quick scalp there. That was a very quick scalp. Yeah, it's pretty range bound, so, but I mean, I'm not really getting a good feel for the auction here. I think they're both range bound, just coming off the lows here. So ES is now going a bit higher here. In the descriptions, you'll see the LEELOO link, and now, like I had mentioned earlier, the other announcement LEELOO has is that with their performance fees, they're either giving you the option to pay monthly, which is 88, or you could have the $250 paid once and you don't have to pay again. So that's one-time performance account fee. That's an option that they have. So that's one new difference with some other firms that still have, you know, their monthly fees. So LEELOO is giving that option. They're not the only ones, but they're at least, you know, giving that option. They're really making things a lot easier for certain traders. I mean, if you're a consistent trader, you definitely should look into that. Here, I'm trying to go short on ES. I think we've got a small little scalp that could be occurred. Yep, there we are. That was a quick scalp. Again, the weekly payout account has a 25% off. It's the first monthly only. So it's going to be a 25% off for any evaluation with LEELOO. It's basically either the 25 or the 50K. That's pretty interesting, as I think a lot of traders tend to look at options that, you know, where you could see a huge, you're able to trade a big account or something, a big size where you can, you know, trade a lot more, but then you could also get into a lot more trouble and just waste your evaluation. So I think the ideal evaluations are either the 25 or the 100K. You could really size up, go up to 3-5 contracts on those. And, you know, the way I trade, I generally like to scale in, but here on this trade here, I'm going to try to look to see if I can get a trade here on LEELOO. I'm kind of seeing some stacking coming in here on ES. That's pretty good, but there's weakness. Even with the stacking that's occurring, I just think it's going to be like a major liquidity meltdown. Because NASDAQ's also showing some weakness here. I might actually leg into a several here on this one. I'm going to go with a couple of contracts to see how I feel here. Yeah, again, this is the LEELOO funded account. Going to probably have to take the loss on this one. I'm not quite... Yeah, I'm trying to just scratch this, get out of it. Sometimes you just can't, but being stubborn is not ideal in these kind of circumstances. I should have already taken the trade off here. It's just not moving. Even in NASDAQ, if you count 5 seconds, it's not even doing like 3 points in 5 seconds. So I'm probably going to get squeezed here. My entry was probably very bad. Let's see here. Yeah, we're going up with like light volume. Just try to see if I can hold on to this 34.75, 34.50 area. We're getting some sweeping into ES here. I'm gonna have to cut this trade. Doesn't look like it's gonna really go in my favor very quickly here. NASDAQ is also having some trouble here with around the 58, so that's kind of giving me some doubts here. I might have to really hit the flat button on this one. Don't like the way it's moving. Let's see here. It's one of those things where if I add to this now, I could probably get a scratch around 55 where you have that large order, but that large order is just not. Yeah, they're gonna hit it. They're gonna come back. I'm just waiting to see if they can hit that 38.55, and if NASDAQ could also show some weakness here. Probably being stubborn on this trade, but I'm gonna have to let it go. Yeah, as you can see, it just went and consumed that 58, which is kind of a good thing. That will probably allow me to kind of get a small little trade out of this. Being very stubborn, should have exited the trade here. So the market's kind of allowing me to get some it's allowing me to let the trade play out. So I'm gonna have to see if I could perhaps get something out of this here. I'm not very keen on it, but I think I did a pretty good job of being patient, and now what's gonna happen here is very crucial. I should have perhaps tried to take some profits on it, but not really the best trade management. I think in here I'm gonna add at 32.75s, which kind of screws up the whole thing. That's where I basically didn't do well, and the reason why I had a sell order at 31.75 is really just because there was a good volume that was printed there. I just didn't want to lose focus on that, and I think the market not even getting back into that is already a signal that I should just scratch this trade. And anyway, I was very patient to let this trade play out, but my management wasn't all that bad. Wasn't all that great, honestly. So again, that was the trade there, the loss. And so right after that here, I'm still looking at ES really above the 28.31s, perhaps looking for some kind of a scalp here. I'm going to be very patient in my entries here. I'm still thinking that we most likely should come back and retest the lows. This is the reason why I'm looking for a short here. Now let's see how the sweeping here on the tape affects here. The 41s, the 39.75s. There's a potential of getting some trapped or buyers here, so that's the reason why I'm kind of still holding to this low. And NASDAQ is actually showing some weakness below 10,873, which is really good. Yeah, I'm going to try to put some orders to take some profits. I don't want to do the same error I did with the previous trade. Now, what happened on this one is that the trade and the momentum just started really going much faster. So that's actually really good, I think, here on this trade here. And also the fact that I have the 38.37s, I know that the market is very weak below that, and we could most likely go into some kind of a price discovery lower. So I'm going to try to hold on to this, look to see if I can get a scalp on NASDAQ. That's the reason why I went long on NASDAQ, to see a small little scalp, nothing major. The 38.30. 36.25 has some volume that printed there. So I'm looking at the 38.37s again. Some weakness here on ES. I'm short a couple here on this Leelootrading Funded account, so this could definitely become a nice winner. I think I've legged into a couple here. I'm looking at this 36.37, and it really just needs the market to just flush through it for me to be convinced that it's gonna go lower. I'm still in the trade with one lot. So I don't know if I can maybe try to find a way to add to it. I'm gonna go and add to it around the 36.75s, because if it goes lower, this is the time. This is where it's gonna move. So I'm gonna try to scalp it and get one or two off, maybe around 38.35s. So that was a nice one, nice entry there. Yeah, and the market just did exactly what I wanted. This is the kind of trade where once you've got a bit of profit in, the main idea here is to really just look for another entry if I can get another entry, you know. So that's my main focus with these little funded accounts. You know, get the entry right, and then if the trade gives you a potential to add to it, that's where you could add. I try not to go over 3 or 5 lots in most of my trades. I've got the stop around 36.75s. Let's see if I could get a movement here. I'm just trying to scalp a bit more. And this trade really just worked out there as this got below the 38.32s, trying to, just take profits, not give too much away. Because in that last trade, the market had probably went down like 8 or 12 ticks, and then just moved higher. So it's not one of those very easy directional days. We've got a lot of large orders around the 38, what is it, the 38.29s, let's see. Yeah, and this is gonna most likely be a very good end to this here. Oh yeah, 38.30s, that's a nice one. So we got some stacking here. I'm probably gonna run through it, so that's good. And just managing the trade probably around the 38.30s would be good here. So as the trade goes lower, actually, I'm gonna see if now we're around 38.28. So we're just gonna see how I manage here. Not too sure what I was doing with NASDAQ, but I was actually just probably looking at what NASDAQ here. I'm gonna try to see if I could. Yeah, it's probably because I'm looking at where the low was on NASDAQ. Sometimes with the data, you lose some data. And yeah, I'm just gonna let the market come back and take me out on that last trade. So that was pretty much one of the best trades of the day here. It wasn't a very busy day, honestly. So here are the several trades I had on my funded accounts, showing you guys quickly the chart of the day, the way the market had moved, and that's the low there around 38.23. So 28s, 30s approximately would be a spot to watch. Once again, don't hesitate to look at the link on LEELOO there, the descriptions. I do share a lot on some of my social media accounts, so don't hesitate to contact me. LEELOO, like other prop firms, making some changes around the account sizes, the way they have their payouts, and the payout fee structure. So, I mean, for me with LEELOO, I've not had any issues, so I really everything, as ES is making a new low here into what 38.27s approximately here. Like I said, the funded accounts, it's ideal for traders who are just starting up, and if you guys are undercapitalized, you could definitely look into that. Just before I kind of finish off with this funded account, review and several trades here. I think with Jigsaw, I had some questions around the depth of market. So I use the volume that builds up on the momentum tails. These are the settings that I have on Jigsaw. So I kind of put the settings around 5,000 milliseconds just to give myself some visual way to see how much the market builds. So I'm just recentering and clearing the trades there. You're able to see how the depth will basically become a bit more darker. It tells me within 5 seconds how far the market is moving. It's a quick way visually to be able to put entries and have market correlations. How much does NASDAQ move compared to ES, just to really see. I like to have a couple of points on NASDAQ on a 5-second basis. So you don't want to try to avoid as much possible to get into choppy zones or into choppy trades. So that's kind of a way to filter the pace of the market. Hope that helps.